go maximum 80%, and I was 80% all the flight. And every glide you were going away.
Where's your boomerang?
Home, sleeping, resting.
Send it. Have somebody ship it.
So, hello guys and girls. We're here in Tenerife with Martin Jovanovski at Daniel Crespo and Carmina's shop, Sky Tenerife. We have a sun in our back, but hopefully we won't be underexposed. Something should be okay. So, Martin, you're here working in Tenerife. How's it going?
Yeah, I came this winter to work as a tandem pilot and a guide for Sky of Tenerife. It's actually my first time on the island, and it's a fantastic place to be, actually. I was amazed how consistent the conditions are. You can fly almost every day, and the flying is very good, and very good quality of flying. Also, for the visiting pilots, I think it's quite accessible with the conditions because they are relatively smooth, a lot of humidity, so a lot of smooth thermals, a lot of cumulus clouds. The landings are a little bit more difficult for total novice pilots. There are not so many landings and a lot of cactus, which I was surprised. I didn't expect that. But actually, I was amazed how good place is this for flying.
Yeah. The cactus is a problem, and the rocks are very, very sharp. This can cut your lines, the cactus. But it's not always the same as this. Not always so humid. We're next to the Atlantic Ocean, and that thing's got a 1,000-year cycle. So anything can happen. 3,000-meter cloud base, we've seen it. More 4,000. Anyway, so. About you, you had an amazing season last year. Pilots can only dream about this. Most pilots would never do what you did. You won 2 World Cup events. Can you a bit detail about this? I think a lot of things had to come together. Your first World Cup win was in Aksaray.
Yep.
And a lot of things had to come together for this to happen. Can you detail a bit how you managed this?
Thank you, Philippe. It was amazing 2022 season, even though my first World Cup win was in Turkey in 2021, but this was the first event of 2022 season. This year we had quite an extensive season. We started in September 2021 in Turkey, and we finished just now in December in Mexico. We had 7 events plus super final, so it was one of the biggest World Cup seasons ever. And it was actually quite nice because throughout the whole season, I think average we had 5 or tasks per event or something like that. We had 3 or 4 events with 7 tasks. It was quite good. Turkey was a dream story for me because I've been flying for 20 years. I started as a kid at 11, and before that I was always following everything. I grew up in a flying family. My father is an instructor, and when I was 6, 7, 8, I was always looking at the magazines back then, the first places, the competitions. So for me, it was a really dream come true. Turkey, especially Aksaray, it's an amazing place. First time I was there, it was in 2019, just before the COVID. They had a pre-World Cup, and I really liked the place since then. And then I visited next time for the World Cup, and it was a huge success for me especially because with the way I win, I was in all 5 tasks in top 3, which was great feeling as well. And I think that the whole moment was very good because at exactly this point, Jean came up with the Boom 12. So I took one of the gliders that were flying at the super final in Dicentis. Those were the first Boom 12s flown ever on a comp. And from Dicentis, one of the gliders came straight to me. Thanks to Gene and the whole team, we managed to organize it in time. I flew one competition back home, Flymaster Open. Just 3 tasks, but for me it was a perfect match from the first moment. I won the first task, and it was the first time I fly that glider. And I think it suited me very well with how easy it was to fly it. And in the strong Turkish conditions, this was also a huge benefit for me, that I could think about the task and everything else,
And not the glider.
and feel comfortable because before that event I flew the glider 4 times in total. So
And you are directly in sync with the glider.
yeah, exactly. So it was perfect.
Nice. I feel also that I'm more performing with the glider, that I don't have to analyze too much and predict too much. If it's a plug and play, like you said, plug and play, bam, you go and you're right away in your marks.
So
It helps, I think, in the end.
we've flown a lot of different gliders over the years, and there were always periods where we had more safe, more difficult gliders, depending of But I really like the trend in the last few years, where the gliders are really becoming more easy to fly and still keeping the performance or even increasing. And I think this is the only way the only way further. I fly sailplanes as well, and the possibilities that you have when you don't have to think about the safety of the wing, it's expanding your horizon a lot. And with the performance of two liners we have now, and if we make them even better and safer, it's going to be real fun to fly paraglider and to compete with it, because still these are high level machines that in the past were sometimes not so fun to be on when you are in real rough conditions. But now I really think that it's becoming better and better, and more. This is the way that we can attract more people to competition flying as well.
Yeah. It's what jet fighter pilots say also. I asked a friend of mine, if you could choose any jet plane you want, which one you would take? And he says F-16. Why? You could get F-15 or the Super Blackbird, something. Too much bullshit, too much systems. The F-16 is pilot's extension, and that's how you can be the best pilot you can be. That's what they say. How many times you won in XRI?
I won 2 out of 5 tasks, and I was 2 times first, 2 times second, and 1 time third.
Okay.
In XRI.
And then you went on to win Korea. It's a different place, much more trickier. Huh?
Yeah, very different event in Korea, very different weather, but it was great experience for me as well. It was first time in Korea, first time to Jean's factory and everything. We had quite a busy schedule between the comps and so on, but definitely it was another fantastic month for me. In Korea, it was we had 3 tasks, but we actually flown 5 days.
Yeah, I was watching you.
we almost flew every day, but it was funny because in those 3 tasks every day we had different weather. We had one very good day, very strong, and then one super weak task, and then one which was turbo until halfway, and then super weak at the end. It was quite interesting. I won the first task in Korea, where
so
it was a windy day, which was a bit difficult to get to goal. I think we made it like 5-6 pilots, but I made it maybe 15-20 minutes before the second.
Is that the one where you went totally out to the left, I would say?
Yes.
To be on the safe side of the wind to get to goal instead of having to fight it or something.
Yeah, that was the move that gained me just before the goal, maybe 20 k's before the goal. I managed to get a very good thermal with a bunch of pilots that we were together. I get quite higher than them, maybe 200 meters, which allowed me to push more into the wind throughout the flats. which later made it a bit easier to go on the windy side of the mountain, and
they get washed.
yeah, they couldn't reach on the windy side of the mountain. It was a bit difficult, but I think 5 or 7 pilots made it. So Korea was a very interesting experience for me as well. Very different flying than anything I was used to before. Also, landings are quite funny there. It's quite limited. Good thing is safe. It's rice fields. It's not unsafe, but it's not fun to land in the rice field.
Even if you arrive at Mach 1, you won't hurt yourself.
Exactly.
You'll just make a big hole.
Some pilots got a bit dirty, but it was very good experience. We flown after that event. We went to Munyong, which was
that's right. You went for Asian tour.
For the Asian tour as well, which we were also flying a lot. At the event, again, we had a little bit difficult conditions with 3 tasks and very weak weather throughout the whole event on the Asian tour. But I was there for in between the comps, and we flown for 7-8 days every day. Fantastic flying.
All right.
So I really like that place a lot.
Munyong is really nice. I think it's the best place I've been in Korea.
I've been only on 2 places, but definitely it was one of the best places I've been with during that week when we flown every day. It was amazing conditions. I really liked it a lot. They're going to have the Asian Championship there in 2 years, I think.
Wow.
So I think it's going to be a good site for many events in the future. A very promising place.
Yeah. And Jin is really pushing the Asian tour. I think he's the one pushing the Asian tour mostly.
For many, this was their idea how to develop the Asian competition community. As you know, in the very past, we had a lot of events there, maybe 20 years ago, but in the last 10-15, we had some events in Korea, but not much around Asia. And this is a very good incentive to start higher level competitions in Asia in general. And then we get more organizers, more competition pilots from Asia as well. And it looks like it's developing quite well.
Are you doing the Asian tour this year?
I am a bit busy this season with a lot of guiding and a lot of comps that we organize as well in Macedonia. But I believe that I will be there back in October again for one event of the Asian tour at least.
Why do they fly so late in Korea?
As I know that mid-season, July and August is monsoons and it's raining. It's so spring and autumn is the best time to fly.
Okay.
And winter is cold.
Yeah, okay, of course. All right. What's next? We're going to a new generation of flying now with the new harnesses. Let's talk about this. You were flying the prototype in Valle de Bravo.
Yeah.
What's new from this? Because you probably had some feedback and went back to the factory and.
So with what we did with Jean with the prototypes in Mexico, we had four harnesses there that were actually expanding on the Genie Race 4 concept, which were basically quite easy to use. Nothing more complicated than a regular harness, even a hike and fly harness. So you have totally open upper body and with legs and everything. It's quite simple to use, but we had a huge windscreen, as you made the video, which was covering, this is again from the Genie Race 4 concept, where we saw a lot of improvements in the wind tunnel testing and also the analysis with the university.
Did you see those wind tunnel tests?
I didn't see them. No. I didn't see them.
They went to the University of Korea. No,
it's a Korean university. I don't know exactly
probably Seoul
the name, but
I will not
but
study.
Yeah, it's part of the huge collaboration between Jean and the university, starting with the wave leading edge and then expanding on harnesses and all the different areas of our flying.
Nice.
So it was actually quite a
So you had no problem.
good. Yeah,
By the way, you were in the same. You had your marks, same marks as the
that
previous
was the
harness.
best thing because we had improved aerodynamics, but with zero maintenance. Let's say that you go and you fly
And
the
you-
same way you flew the other day
Yeah, you
before
don't have
with
to
your old
relearn
harness.
your procedure and make sure you don't forget anything.
Yeah, it was completely the same what we had before, but the shape was much better, and which helped aerodynamics as well. Of course, to make it a more long-term solution or for a serial production, we need some time. We are working also on different concepts.
Because it was a little bit rushed. It was really fast produced. It was perfectly produced, but
For sure, these were prototypes that were needed to be there for the super final.
Yeah.
And of course, they were all slightly different, so we were testing different things. So we can come up with a final solution later in the year. But we are also looking in many different directions, having the windscreen, without it. So I think there is some very interesting progress coming up with the harnesses in the next few years, but I also think that we need to pay more attention to the safety as well.
I think we need to pay more.
Yeah, unfortunately, like everything else. But what I wanted to say about the safety is that with the improved aerodynamics, we gain a lot of performance and everything, but I am one of these old school pilots where I remember when we flew big ass harnesses with the big protectors in our back, and I'm not sure if they were not safer than what we have at the moment, especially from certain areas. And I think this going to thinner and thinner protectors might be a little bit difficult, but this improves performance. So I think in the future we might be also looking at that as well, how to make everything more performant but safer as well, because we are making stuff with gliders. I think it's time to make some steps with harnesses and also
What
rescues and stuff like
what
that.
feedback did you personally give to Jim about the harness? To Jim?
This was what I was speaking. It was general about the harnesses. Our harness uses the same technologies and protectors and everything from the Junior Race 4, so we had no troubles at all about it. But I can see many manufacturers are going in different ways about it, and it was just an observation as a pilot, not from Jim's stand. So
Okay. Yeah, I have some ideas too. Because for example, you could use the protection as a structural part. Instead of adding protection under the structure, the protection will have sufficient let's say elasticity or rigidity or strength to bear all the loads and still provide more protection. And imagine like a foam bucket seat, something like this. Where the foam has integrated fibers in it or something. I don't know.
I think with the expansion of the sport, of course we can get different ideas from all around us, and definitely you can see that paragliding is improving with other sports technologies integrating to us. So I think for sure even these kind of possibilities are possible, and a lot of people are working now much more on harnesses than in the past, and you can see that improve even in the past 5-10 years with comfort, with everything. So.
Okay, so one more thing about the winning in a World Cup event, the whole thing. It takes mental strength. can you explain me how you could maintain your mental rigidity? Maybe it's because your girlfriend was always calling you and you had a stable relationship. Maybe you had a good coach. Maybe Goran was telling you, you don't do stupid things. Something like this. Tell me a bit more.
Actually, so I've been competing from a very young age, and I've been very competitive. So I put a lot of effort in that as well, but especially on the mental side. I think it helped me a lot because I was competing a lot and also losing a lot, especially
Like
when
NASA.
Exactly.
Break some rockets.
Exactly. Especially when I was younger and not flying very competitive gliders, but I was always eager to actually be up there, and many times overdoing it, overworking it. So for me, it wasn't any special coaching, but I've read a lot of books about sport psychology throughout the years, and
Yeah.
I worked a lot on that, so that I can push myself to get better results, but in the same time to not make huge mistakes, because at the moment the big mistakes are what is the most costly in the cross country World Cup flying, because everybody is good. So very small mistake, it takes you from top 5 to top 40. Very small mistakes. But also I think it helped me a lot that I had a lot of, when I was young, I know it's not a super popular discipline between cross-country pilots, but I did a lot of accuracy landing competitions when I was kid, 14, 15, 20. And this helped me a lot because I had a lot of comps, weekend comps, where you need a lot of concentration and you know the result at the moment, which puts extra pressure. You know that you will need to land 2 centimeters better or 5 centimeters worse, and you're second or third. And this is already in your mind. And I find it with cross country now, it's even a bit easier, because even after mistake, you have 30 more Ks where you can recover. And it's having this past experience where everything is happening at the moment. Now it's that point where you need to put a good result, and transferring to a task which is 100 Ks and you have some time. It also helps me for my
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah. It's I think it's important to get to the point where you let go of all the adrenaline, all the excitement that you have in your competition. Normally, you have to learn how to stay cold blood and everything. But
Yes, this is definitely the key point is to take emotions out. But this is very difficult, especially with flying, because it's also
yellow.
yeah, no matter how much you fly, when you fly comms and so on, you still get some adrenaline in the air, and this messes up with your hormones and everything. So you staying cool-headed it's definitely a key point. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. I see a lot of pilots also work with some meditation before flying and stuff like that, the top level guys. But I think everybody have different ways how to do it. But for sure, experience helps a lot.
And another sport is nice if you can project all your emotion and everything on another sport, and you get your body out of all that stress. Then you can. But that accuracy thing, it's interesting because it makes me think of biathlon. You know, when you're cross country skiing and then you have to stop, let go, and just focus for that shot, and then go back again for another round and everything. So it's okay, Martin. You're going to Geneva tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going to the World Cup committee meeting. I've been part of the World Cup committee since 2014, and I think this meeting is quite exciting and important, because with the COVID and everything, we didn't have a meeting for the last couple of years.
Really? I mean, the first meeting since
we had online meetings with Zoom and everything, but this is the first face-to-face meeting with the whole committee there and everything. And I think it's quite important for
What's
for
it?
these seasons
what
about
are-
rules and future of
rules.
the World Cup and stuff like that.
Can you give me a little bit of insight about?
I just received the agenda yesterday, last night, and it's quite extensive. We have a lot of things to talk. You know that the World Cup have, World Cup have been on the leading edge of the competition flying for many years. Many new things are introduced there, and of course we are trying to keep up with that and always see what's the best for the pilots, for the members, and how we can lead this competition scene through the World Cups as good as possible.
Yeah.
So more people are attracted to competition flying.
Yeah. We'll see. And you're going to the World Championship also.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. May France will be a good place to be. I think the whole world elite will be there, and
French gonna kill everybody.
I've never been to the place, but I spoke with some of the Frenchies. They say it's quite a particular place where you need to know a lot of small secrets. And with the Macedonian team, we will try to get there a bit earlier and try to get to know the place, or at least a few of the tricks. Let's see.
Yeah,
it's going to
we'll
be
see.
interesting.
And sometimes the French get caught in their own trap anyway. So let's hope for that. Okay, thank you, Martin. Have a nice trip home, and to Geneva. And you're not going home really fast because after that you go to Portugal for FAI meeting. So you're way up in the administration stuff.
Few meetings at this point, but then back to competition season.
You coming back to the island next year, maybe, or this year? This year.
I'm not sure yet, but I would love to. It's a good place to be, definitely. I hate the cold. I don't like the snow, and I always try to escape the winter back home. So this place looks like the place to be in winter in Europe.
Which events are you doing this year?
So I will be going to Spanish World Cup, then the Worlds. Then I have some events back in Macedonia that we're gonna organize, and I will
Belgian
compete.
Championship?
Yeah, exactly. Belgian Championship is in Macedonia, and Flymaster Open.
Yeah.
Fifth Flymaster Open now, and we're gonna have Nordic Open where I will probably compete. We have the World Cup in Turkey as well. So more or less for now, that's the situation.
So you do
maybe Brazil as well.
The first Brazil.
First, yeah.
Oh yeah. Is he
A busy season, yes.
Oh my God! So you're already booked until winter.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. With all the guidings and the schedule, SAV courses and everything.
All right. Save some time
busy
for your family time, your girlfriend, and everything. Yeah, and make sure you get some good flying and fly safe and
Thank you.
fast and furious. How much time?